Thank you all for being here today. We have been working with the Coordinated Assistance Network for a number of years. I think quite some time. This is maybe our third year that we've really been running the program. The Coordinated Assistance Network is a tech platform that connects veterans, service members, and their families to various um, resources, including things like housing, mental health, counseling. Um, Food assistance in a variety of different ways. And we've been working with the Coordinated Assistance Network to develop a financial planning component where CFP professional volunteers like you provide one-on-one financial guidance to veterans and their families in need. So we're so happy that you're here today. We're here with Steve Stout, who is our wonderful program manager at the Coordinated Assistance Network, and Steve will be your day-to-day contact with this program. But us at FFP, Jordan Tobias, and I are always open to feedback, questions, um, and contact at any time because we'd love to hear from you about your experiences and any improvements that we can make to make the program better for both the CFP professional volunteers and the clients. And with that, I want to turn it over to Steve, who's going to provide more of an overview of the Coordinated Assistance Network, how you can use it to connect with clients, and provide some examples of questions that might come up over the course of your experience volunteering. And then we'll leave it open for some questions.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Jordan, as well. Just want to take a minute and thank everybody for joining us for this call. We've always had great turnout from the financial planners when it comes to volunteering, when it comes to providing pro bono services to the military community, to veterans, and to their family members. So great crowd on here today. I won't keep you long and try to answer any questions that you have at the end. I'm always available if you choose to reach out via email or by phone, however you want to do that as well. But once again, welcome and thank you for your interest in volunteering with this program or any other program, no matter where you land. We do appreciate it. So who we are, what we do, we are a 501c3 nonprofit. We do partner with other nonprofits, with the VA, with other organizations that provide veteran services and veteran outreach. And primarily what we focus on is the financial education aspect side of working with veterans and working with military personnel. So we have veterans come to us through the Coordinated Assistance Network. It's kind of our landing platform to request services like financial assistance, financial coaching, financial development, to learn how to budget, to learn how to manage debt, to learn how to basically get general information on investments, not specific investments, but on how investing overall and things like that. So we are a landing place for these veterans to come. We provide services to them via pro bono coaching, working with accredited financial coaches as well. So we have several different programs that we're working on at the same time. I just head up the Foundation for Financial Planning pro bono coaching part of this, as well as several other things I'm working on also. You'll find us on our website at canportal.org. That is canportal.org. I know Rachel's already provided that link in some of the paperwork that she sent out. Some of you have already come on and registered, stating that you would like to be involved in the program, and we've engaged you as coaches. So we encourage that you get in, play around with the network, kind of see what it's all about and everything. And you can look into that and also learn how to use it. It's a very simple platform. We've made it very user friendly. And so that's pretty much how it goes. So I will take you through the registration process. I will basically talk with you a little bit how cases are vetted and how they're assigned to certified financial planners if you choose that this is a program you want to be in. And then we'll talk about how to work a case, what the expectations are, and the time frame to work that case, and then I'll answer any questions that you have at the end. If anything pops up in the meantime, feel free to shoot a message through the message center on this platform, and Rachel and Jordan usually answer those as we go. So if I'm talking too fast, not talking clear enough, feel free to throw a hand up and stop me and then ask the question right away. I'm happy to answer that. It is not a problem. So I want to take you real quick to the registration process. I'll share my screen with you here in just a second. So you should be able to see my screen right here where it says join the Coordinated Assistance Network. Do you see that, Rachel?
Yeah.
Awesome, great. So when you go to canportal.org and click on volunteer, you'll see a volunteer tab for counselors and certified financial planners. It's basically going to take you to where you create your dashboard, where you enter in your information, as well as a password and your email address. So you'll just scroll down through here. You'll see it's just basic information on how to establish an account. All this information is kept confidential. We are basically, our platform is kept secure by Secure24, so no information is going to get out on you or on any services that you provide to the clients. We are a HIPAA compliant platform as well. So we just ask that you enter in the information that's requested. It's just basic date of birth, contact number. It does ask for gender identity and ethnicity. Those basically are required. You can put none in there. It's not a problem. It does ask if you're a veteran. We encourage, if you are a veteran, that you please click yes, because lots of times we'll try to pair veterans with veterans, military spouses with military spouses, if you're providing coaching for them and so forth. And then once you get to the bottom, very important, you're going to see Foundation for Financial Planning. You'll click on that, and then you'll enter your CFP board ID number. And then click on you certify that this is accurate to the best of your knowledge, and click submit. Once you've done that, you are in the system. It sends me an automatic notification saying, hey, this lady or this gentleman's interested in entering into the program. Click on them, engage them, and Rachel will verify with me that you are a certified financial planner, and then we'll accept you into the program. Now, once you are into the program and you log into our network, you're going to see the dashboard. This is your login information. This is for training purposes. This is myself. You're going to log in, and then there's a couple things we need you to do once you get logged in to get into the program itself. This is just creating your dashboard and creating your profile. But once you come into your dashboard, you're just going to see basic information on yourself and on caseload and things like that. You're going to see the Browse Opportunities tab right here. And all of this, we do have this in document format that will be sent out to you if it hasn't already been. So you'll click on Browse Opportunities. And it'll take just a second to come up. And then this first one right here, you're going to see Foundation for Financial Planning. Sorry, I've got the screen of everybody's faces covering the apply button. You'll see apply right here. Click on that. And then once you've clicked on that, you're going to see your application has been successfully sent to the partner. That sends me an email just stating, hey, you have entered into the plan. You want to work these cases. You want to work with this group. And then that allows me to start assigning you cases and sending individuals over to you. So that's basically the steps that you need to take to register, to enter into the program. Once you've done that, then I can assign you cases. You can message me back and forth, ask any questions that you have, and I'm happy to work with you and answer those questions as well. How cases are vetted and assigned. So I'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about how to get to these cases and basically what you need to do working with these individuals. So everybody that comes into the network that is a veteran that's requesting financial coaching with a certified financial planner or through pro bono coaching, I will vet those cases before I send them to a coach to work or to a professional to work. So I call them up on the telephone. make contact with them, let them know what to expect, what the coaching process is, uh, and the time frame that they're going to be contacted within. That way they have a heads up. It's kind of, although it's not a warm handoff, it kind of is a warm handoff because I'll let them know who the professional is that's assigned to their case. Michael, I'll use your name, Michael Clark. I'll say, hey, your counselor is going to be Michael Clark. He'll be reaching out to you within the next couple of days. We just ask you, please be responsive to his contact attempts and make every effort to meet with him, and he'll work with you to answer any questions that you have regarding your finances, budget, and so forth. So that's how these veterans are vetted. And then once they understand the process and how the case has worked and everything, then I will refer that client to you to be worked. You'll receive email notification. You've received a new case through canportal.org. Please contact this client within 48 hours to schedule an appointment. So, and I'll let them know, what I do ask the veteran, what's the best time for them to reach out? What's the best time of the week or time of the day and so forth. That way I can kind of give you an idea of what they're thinking, but always tell them up front, keep in mind, these are volunteers. So it may be a couple extra days or whatever when they can get to your case to work it. So you guys work out an appointment that best works for you to meet both your needs and the needs of the veteran themselves. So that's how the cases are vetted and they're assigned. If the veteran is asking, I mean, basically for the purpose of this program, you are providing financial coaching. I do apologize. Sorry about that. I meant to turn that off a moment ago. You're providing financial coaching, financial counseling, answering any questions they may have on general, on how to invest and things like that. Not specific investments, but if they have veteran specific questions on like, how do I get benefits through the VA? How do I get my mortgage paid through VA assistance and so forth? I know all of that information. So typically I will give them that information while I'm vetting them over the phone. That way you specifically talk with them about their finances. If for some reason they have specific questions regarding benefits that they didn't ask me, you're more than welcome to refer them back to me for that information. Or you can shoot me an email and I will answer that, and then you can get that information back to them. So any coaching you provide, I'm there as a support structure kind of in the background for you. We don't leave you hanging out there. Well, what do I do? Where do I go? Or whatever. I don't know anything about this. That's fine. I'm here to provide that information for you and give you guidance as well on the back end. So that's how cases are vetted, how they're assigned. Now, what types of clients are you going to see? And this is something that a lot of certified financial planners, we understand you're professionals. You deal a lot with financial planning. You might not necessarily deal with budgeting as much, although we know it's there, or financial coaching as much, although we know that's part of everything you do as well. So a lot of the questions that we have from veterans is, how do I budget? How do I manage my debt now that I'm no longer earning an income through the military? How do I deal with taxes? How do I deal with life insurance? A lot of just basic general financial questions. You think Dave Ramsey, whenever he's talking, how do you save? How do you build an emergency savings account and things like that? So it's a lot of questions around general finance issues, and also dealing with possibly how do I deal with collection companies? How do I deal with my student loan debt and be able to pay that while I'm buying a car and buying a house and everything else? So it is great information to have, and it's good to hone those skills in and to work, with people in those areas as well. So how to work the case itself. Once you are assigned a case, you're going to receive notification, hey, Steve has assigned you a case. Please log in, accept the case, and work it basically at your convenience. Although it does have kind of a time frame, but it's more at your convenience. So you're going to come into once you log into the network, you're going to see dashboard, you'll see your profile. You can also upload any documents or certifications here. There's a lot of good things down through here, but most of it is not going to apply to the work that you're doing in the network. The main thing that you're going to be dealing with is file management and messages. Those are kind of the only two things that you really need to be worried about. Everything else, if you want to get in here and play around with it and use the network, you can actually use this in your own business, although I'm sure a lot of your organizations wouldn't allow you to, but it is available to you as a volunteer. So, but for the purpose of this program, file management is where you will go to work any files that you've received. So you'll click on that. And this is just a couple of test clients that I have in here. You'll see basically it'll pop up as the client's name, the date, the type of coaching that they've requested, and then the fact that you have claimed that. So let me go ahead and open this. So once you come into the client's file, you're going to see, or into the veteran's file, you'll basically, we always have their emblem of service here. So we think that's very important to know, where they served at, what they did. And we always tell veterans, thank you for your time and service to our country. And some of you may be veterans, and that is awesome. We appreciate your time and service as well. I served in the Army, but you're going to see basically where they served. You'll see just quick information on who they are. If you see here, Christine McTester is female, 50 years old, Air Force. She's retired, served in OEF, Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom. So that just kind of gives you a quick overview of who they are. As you scroll down, you'll see just basic vital snapshots on what's going on with them, where they live at. Some of this may be beneficial to you when providing coaching or just understanding where they're from and what their gross income is and things like that. So you see their employment status, the fact they might be retired or they might be on disability, how many people live in their household. So this is just good information to kind of have and look over before you contact the client. Once you've kind of viewed that, you can actually go down to what their request is. And so down below file details is all the information on this file that you'll need to know in order to provide coaching to them and also to work it. So you'll see that she's looking for basic budgeting advice. She'd like to learn how to budget. We see a lot of these requests when people come in. So that tells me, hey, they're wanting to budget. Some of them may have a budget already worked up. Some of them may not have an idea as to how to budget. So that can be information you can garner from when you're talking with them. If you click on applicant info, it's going to tell you everything that we collect up front from the applicant, where they live at, date of birth, their age, married. This just gives you some information on their level of where you are financially and everything as far as that goes. You can look at their military information. It does tell if they're retired, what type of discharge they got, what branch of service, if they received any VA benefits and so forth. So once you've just kind of looked over the client there, you want to go to status, and then you're going to click on accepted. Accepted just means that you've viewed over this case. You feel like that's something that you're competent in working, that you want to work. And then you're going to accept the case. And that basically just lets me know, it sends me an email and lets me know, hey, this person has accepted this case. They've agreed to work it. And then you'll contact that client and then talk with them about what they're wanting coaching in or what they're wanting direction and guidance in. So from there, this is a status tab that we have. Instead of me calling and say, hey, where are you on this case? What are you doing on this case? Which I would never do anyway. I may send you an email just for an update occasionally, but it is very rare that I ever even send that, because most of the planners that come into the network and work these cases, they get a hold of it pretty quick and they work right through them. And the only time they ever contact me is, hey, the veteran's wanting to do this. What do you recommend? And so forth. So you'll see basically the status update, accepted, contacted, in counseling, you're working with them, completed. You can also reject the case. If I send you somebody over and you're going on vacation, or you've got a busy month ahead of you and you can't work cases, you can reject that and just say, hey, I'm rejecting it because of this. I just don't have time to work it right now. That is perfectly fine. We want to respect your time and your commitment as a volunteer and say, hey, we understand. Just let me know when you're ready to receive another case and I'll send one out to you. So we've had many opportunities, to where veteran or where CFPs have said, I just can't work cases right now. Uh, and that's fine. You can let me know even before I assign you a case. But we just ask as you're doing, as you're working through the process, you'll click in counseling. That just lets me know once I click in counseling. Bear with me just a second. You'll see that this bottom tab right here changes to in counseling. So that lets me know without having to contact anybody where you are in the process of this. Once you've finished working with that veteran, you can click completed and it'll close the case out and it'll take it off of your file management table. So how to work a case, we kind of talked about that. Basically, you're professionals. I don't need to tell you how to do your job. By any means, I never will. You can provide coaching on any platform you want in any way that you choose to do so. However, we do ask that if you go outside of the network to provide coaching, that you just come back in and enter into the notes. Hey, this is kind of what I did. I talked with them about, setting up a budget, gave them a couple recommendations, you know, told them about life insurance policies, whatever whatever comes up in the conversation. Let me know in the notes section. And then if you take any information outside of the network, just that you're responsible for that information, just to keep it HIPAA compliant, and and so forth. So we don't really collect anything like account numbers or social security numbers. So all their information that's personal identifiable pretty much is kept confidential anyway. But just to let you know that. Expectations and time frame, if we assign you a case, we do ask that within 24 to 48 hours, you at least make a contact attempt, call the client up, call the veteran up and just let them know who you are and what you're calling for. And then you guys set an appointment that best works for you. I think I think the network says 24 hours. We're fine with 48 hours. If you go out that far, that's not a problem. It just keeps it, we've noticed that if we try to contact the veteran by sending an email, it may be a week before they open their email up. And then by then things have kind of cooled off and they may have already forgotten about it or moved on to other things. So we've noticed a greater show rate if we just do the first contact attempt via telephone. Hey, this is Mike. I'm calling with such and such. You had submitted a request for financial coaching, and I'm calling to work with you on that through the Coordinated Assistance Network. So that's kind of the expectations and the time frame of providing coaching for veterans and things like that. If you will notice right here, as you scroll up, you're going to see message applicant or message assigning partner organization. If you need to message the veteran, two ways you can do it. One, you can go in through your email, your personal email through your company and send them a message. They're probably not going to know who you are or what you're messaging them for because it may show, I'll use that word, I don't know the names of all the, Charles Schwab or whatever, but it's going to show that from your personal email and they're going to think it's spam email or whatever. But you can click message applicant and it's going to send them a message through here. It's kind of a contained email, just letting them know, hey, you have sent them a message. They can log into the CAN portal. They can view that message. And the same, they can message you. So if they send a message, you're just going to receive notifications saying, please log in to view a message that this client sent to you. That way it keeps your personal inbox from getting clogged up with emails through a volunteer program. The second one is message assigning partner. That is me. So if you message a signing partner, you are messaging me. Hey, Steve, I've got a question about this. It will always come to me and I'm the only one to view that. So just keep that in mind. That is the way you can contact me and reach me as well. With that being said, in a nutshell, that is kind of a real quick 10,000 overview of the network, over how to work cases, over how to, answer any questions they have and so forth. But just keep in mind, the main thing is like I said, I'm always here to back you up and to provide assistance and guidance for you. I've been an accredited financial coach for 20 plus years now. And I've been working with the Coordinated Assistance Network for about 20 plus years now. So but we'll open it up to questions and any comments, and I'm happy to answer those. And let me go back over here.
You may have covered this, Steve, but I had a call come in kind of at the beginning. But what's the expectation as far as number of times to meet with the veterans or the people that were assigned?
That is a great question, Michael. So for the purpose of this program, I tell veterans it is a one and done coaching session. So typically a coaching session should not last more than 45 minutes to an hour. Now, we all know that that may or may not be something that's possible or feasible. I mean, if you had somebody walking into your office and they walked in with a big paper bag or Walmart bag full of receipts and they threw it down on your desk, I just take it and throw it in the garbage can because that's something I'm not going to do. But for the purpose of this, typically it's a one and done is what I tell the veterans and the certified financial planners. If you choose, and I know it says this in our paperwork, if you choose to do a follow-up with them, that's fine. You're more than welcome to do that. If you've got a veteran that, hey, I really like this guy, I like his story, I want to commit more time to what they've got going on because I understand they're in a hairy situation. You can do that. Call them back as many times as you like. But if it gets to the point to where it's taking advantage of your time as a professional and the time that you're volunteering, we want you to back away from that case because some people, I've had planners before that have volunteered like 9, 10 hours to help one client. And that's great. We love it. I mean, don't get me wrong. We really appreciate what you're doing, but also we want, you've got other jobs you're doing and you've got a whole month of other work you're doing. So one great thing we do is you'll see, apologize, you'll see right here, submit hours. So you can track your volunteer hours. You can click on here, Christine McTester, and work this case for 2 hours and submit. So we're going to keep a log sheet of how many hours you volunteered. I know nobody's looking at that right now, but that's a great way to enhance a resume to say, hey, I volunteered X amount of hours providing, pro bono services to veterans and military personnel. So, and I always tell people, if you work 45 minutes, round it up to an hour. Because you got to take into consideration admin time and everything else you're spending on that client. So that's a great way to keep track of the time that you volunteered in providing services to this group of individuals. Other questions?
I got two more.
Absolutely.
How many veterans would be assigned kind of at any one point? What's the amount of flow to expect?
Only one unless you want more. So
Okay.
I have had certified financial planners come in, hey, assign me 3 cases for this month. They're rare, but I will do that because I know who they are and I know they're going to work that flow. But for the purpose of this program, I will only assign you one case at a time until you complete it. Once you complete that case, depending on the load that I have coming in, once I see that it's completed, I'll assign you another case. It may be 3 or 4 days before I assign you another case, could be 2 weeks. But I do not want to assign multiple, although I could, I don't want to assign multiple cases out to you because in my opinion, that would be taking advantage of you giving to us as part of this program. So and a couple things can happen. You contact the veteran, they answer the phone right away. You guys set up an appointment, you provide coaching, it's closed out in a week. That's great. Sometimes it may take 3 contact attempts before you finally reach them. And then they may not want to talk for another week. So you set up an appointment, you provide coaching for them. By the time you close it out, 2 weeks to 3 weeks has gone by. We understand that as well. But I'm not going to lay any more on you than one session at a time.
And then last question, you mentioned that as we sign up through the portal, then there's an assignment that happens of this veteran. Do we get an email notification that we've been assigned something that's external to this portal, or do we have to come in and check the portal?
Oh, no,
to know that we've been
it will come
assigned?
to your email address that you register with.
Perfect.
If you have, if you're using your company's email, they may have firewalls set up. to where it may automatically send it to spam. We have noticed that in the past because, as with any organization, especially when it comes to financial institutions, you have to be safe. So that's not a problem. But if you use your personal email or Gmail or whatever, it's going to send you a notification saying, hey, Steve, through the CAN portal has assigned you a case to work. And I don't know the exact wording of it, but you will receive notification. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, Steve, this is Steve Cartwright. I have a question regarding the compliance aspect of this. Are we able to, regarding like letters of engagement, how is that handled? Are we able to send our own financial planning agreement and have the client sign off on it? You know, do we need to send ADVs, CRSs? What's
Yeah, I can help answer that. Yeah,
Yeah.
in terms of the letter of engagement, we did develop like a document that's in the document center of your account in the Coordinated Assistance Network platform that you can review. And the language aligns with the letters of engagement that we provide as templates to the nonprofits that we work with. And it basically states that, there's no selling of products or services. This is a pro bono engagement, no lead generation. This is a short-term engagement. There's no implementation. And I can also send that to you to review. The clients have access to it as well. And you don't need any of those other forms, ADV, etc. There's no like selling of anything and there's no investment advice given. You shouldn't be recommending specific stocks, bonds, other investments. You can provide some like basic education around investing, like you should invest in a mutual fund and here are some examples and you should diversify your portfolio, things like that, but you shouldn't be recommending specific products, which we find makes it unnecessary to have those other documents.
okay?
And what I've told veterans in the past, because we have had this come up in the past, and it may very well come up in the future, is that the certified financial planners are not trying to sell you anything. And I will tell them, because we do have some that'll come in, oh, I want, specific annuity references and everything. I'm like, they're not going to give you that information. So do not expect that. That is a paid thing for them to provide that to you. So I will tell them that, it's general in nature, especially specifically if it comes to retirement programs or plans and so forth, that they can talk with you about these types of programs. But when it comes to specific things, they're not going to recommend specific products. Now, if you have a veteran that they've fallen in love with what you've told them, they've fallen in love with the idea of investing, and they only want to talk with you and nobody else is going to do, let me know. We're not going to kick you out of the counseling program for that. We understand that happens occasionally, but just let me know, hey, Steve, this person has done this. We've had other CFPs that have said, I will refer them to somebody else within the company, but I will not deal with them. But we just ask that if that relationship happens or occurs and the client is demanding it, at that point, after you've told me, then you take them outside of the CAN portal. You would send them all of your documents, all of your disclosures and everything else, and you would create a relationship with them. It's discouraged, but we understand it can happen.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be sitting here saying, we can't believe you did that. I mean, things happen. We get it.
To ease the my compliance department, is it okay if we do send our FPA or our financial planning agreement to them to sign as well?
Yeah, so I would say about that is you certainly can, but it is difficult. Like I think some of you might find that it's actually like really difficult to reach the client. Like it's like difficult to like take that first step to meet with a financial planner, and especially for some of these folks who may have PTSD or financial shame. You
Yeah.
may have to like reach out to them a few times. You may just have to like, call them and like reach them and have your meeting right then. So
Okay.
sometimes that will work. Sometimes like it may not be realistic. We do have like a sample verbal disclosure that we develop for really short-term one-time sessions like that I can also share that you might find helpful. So I can share that as well.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
and just to let you know, Steve, also, a lot of the veterans that come into this program, I mean, we get a wide range. We get a lot of veterans with, they've got their investment strategy, they've got their plan set for their retirement age, they've come out of the military with 20, 25 years of service. They've got no issues at all when it comes to service connection disability or anything. So financially, they're sound. They're just wanting, hey, how do I do this? Or what do I do in this situation and so forth. On the other side of it, we have a lot of veterans coming to us that were in the enlisted class. So they were lower ranks, not a lot of financial understanding, not a lot of money to build that foundation and to build that platform. They're in their 20s, they're in their 30s, and they're dealing with making the mistake of getting an $800 a month car payment, which is the norm now. Plus rent, plus $40,000 in student loans, and they're wondering how they're going to meet their mortgage payment or how they're going to meet their rent for the month. So you'll see kind of a wide range of the client base, but that's kind of, one group versus the other group. One group is a little bit more just answering questions on basic budgeting, whereas the other group may be more something to where, okay, I have to make sure I'm compliant with everything on this. But so it's quite a broad field that comes through.
Okay, that helps. Thank you. So should I expect the engagement letter to be signed when we get the cases assigned to us? If not, we have the verbal. Is
It's verbal. Yeah,
It's
they
all
receive a
verbal.
copy
Okay.
of it, but it is pretty much verbal from the client,
Okay.
from the
Okay.
veteran themselves.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Is there any kind of template? You said a lot of it is budgeting. Do you have like any templates that we should use, or how would we do that?
Absolutely. So we do have templates you can use within the network if you choose to do that and go that route. I've had other certified financial planners that will just sit down with an Excel spreadsheet or will sit down with their own budgeting tool that they have. So we want you to use whatever you feel comfortable using. So if it's a notebook and a pad of paper and just writing things out, you can do that. If you choose that you want to follow a template, you're going to see basically within file details right here, you can click on, you would think on counseling assessment and calculators. And then you can add an assessment to the client's file, which is do financial. None of these others will be of any interest to you. And then this is going to take you through a basic budget, creating an assessment that you can work with the client on. So you'll see it's got their credit score, it's got assets, and you can add multi-layer categories of that. So it'll have checking, savings, money market, certificates, deposits, so forth, real estate, personal property, any investments that they have, income. It takes you down to liabilities, credit card debt, other debt, collection accounts, and then also insurances and so forth. And then variable expenses. The great thing about this is once you complete this assessment within the network, it's going to show you their total assets, total liabilities, total income. Now, one thing you can do is to save yourself a lot of hassle is to tell the client to do this before your meeting. So if you're working with a veteran, say, hey, if you don't mind, go back in and complete the assessment in your file and share that with me. And then I can go back in and view that instead of me having to do it with you. I mean, I'll go through the assessment while I'm talking with the client lots of times or with the veteran. And that way, when I'm done doing the assessment, I can view all this information and make recommendations based off that. The way that I handle it is somebody calls, hey, Steve, I'm interested in learning how to budget. I'll say, that's great. Thank you for contacting us. Typically, the way I do a coaching session is I'll do a basic financial assessment, which just lets me know where you are financially, and then I can make recommendations based off of that. And I'll go straight into this assessment form and just, I don't want them to give me, 5,000 receipts or anything else. I just want them to give me what their basic bills are, what their income is. That way I can advise them based off of this. So it fills all this out for me automatically. And then I can save that at the bottom. It's going to send them a copy when I close the file out, as well as any recommendations and so forth. So it's a great template, and that is under, once you're in the file network, it'll be under assessments and calculators. Okay, does that make sense? Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. And they can see it too. They get a copy of
Yeah.
whatever. And yeah.
Any other questions? Awesome. Well, I don't see any, I don't know if there's any, did anybody post?
One thing to note, Carolyn was asking about number of cases that the volunteers are permitted to take on. And I think, Carolyn, you can take on as many cases as you want. It just, whenever you want to participate, you can. If you feel like you need to take a break from the program, you have other things going on in your life, you can do that. So it's really flexible. So it's not like you can only take on a certain number of cases. It's flexible in terms of what you're looking for.
Yeah, and we have several planners that will jump in and out. So they may come in August and say, send me cases, and work them until September and then jump back out again. And I don't see them for a full year. That does not break my heart at all. We understand. And, we have some that'll work them for 3 months and then back out. And it's just whatever your availability is to volunteer within the program. We want to be here, to provide that resource to you. Well, great. Well, if there are no more questions, thank you so much for your time and interest in this program.
Oh yeah, and Steve, wait, one more thing.
Oh.
For those who have are reaching out to their compliance teams, if you do end up having additional questions related to compliance, please reach out to me. And I can see if we can offer any additional assistance. We developed a FAQ regarding some compliance questions that we've heard in the past, and happy to send that along as well if it's needed. So just reach out to me. I can put my email in the chat just in case.
Yep. And if you want to create an account on the network and you don't want to work any cases, that's perfectly fine. Just send me a message once you create your account. Hey, I'm just checking this out. Don't assign me any cases yet. And that's fine. I'll leave you on the back burner until you come in and you say, I'm ready for cases. And some of you may need to get with your compliance department to make sure that's okay as well. So just if you create that account, go to messaging, shoot me a message. You can also message me at, let me put my email address in here. At sstout@veteransplus.org. That's my email address. And you can let me know, hey, I'm not ready to receive cases yet. I'll let you know when I am. And that way I won't assign you any cases. If for some reason one slips through, like I said, you can reject that and let me know why, and it's not a problem at all. All right.
Thanks everyone for being here today. And yeah, just get in touch with me or Steve if you have any questions. And we really appreciate your dedication to those who need help. So thank you.
Thank you. Y'all have a great day.